someone's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. And I want it so bad because I had nothing. Like, I deserve everything that I've put in, but I lost my entire database. I think females are the best salespeople in the marketplace, but I don't even take lunch breaks. And I'm working on Sundays.
Yeah.
Energy is your currency.
I can feel it.
This is not even a passion no more.
Yeah.
This is an obsession.
Yeah.
And there are other people that are hungrier than you, but I didn't believe in myself. Just give it a fucking go.
Welcome to the Freedom Property Podcast, the modern real estate brand empowering excellence. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back in the studio, and today we have got the main man himself, the REIQ Agent of the Year, Mr. Will Torres.
Thanks, man.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can I kick
Very
it off
excited
by saying, once you go black, you never go back.
Yeah, that's very true, I think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Heard in that movie, you know.
REIQ. Oh
were you there? You were
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Oh, mate, I don't know what came over me. I just
I thought it was hilarious.
yeah,
I thought it was good.
had to throw in a line there. I don't know, something, you know, tagline for Torres.
Absolutely. I said to the missus, I think I'll kick off the podcast show by saying what Will did at when he picked up his award. She's like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
No, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Well, there was
you?
like nearly 1,000 people there, so I think some people took it okay. I think the ex-place agents, when I was there, they might have gone, yeah, I don't know, hey.
That's your style, brother. Get
Yeah.
honest. How's life? You going okay?
Life is good. It's been really busy.
Yeah.
I think we just mentioned before we started this podcast,
Mm.
you know, 31 days in July, 31 listings
amazing.
for myself and the team. So
Yeah.
that's not the agency, just my team.
That's so good.
Which is
Yeah.
really good. So it's keeping us busy, but it's going to be an interesting time the next few months with the amount of stock that possibly may come on the market.
I want to know more about your team today. I want to know how you run your office.
Yep.
Because I think, that's where the power lies with you at the
Yeah.
moment. It's like, how many people are in your personal sales team?
So my EBU, we've got Kaya, who does all my EA work. Then I've got Doug, who does concierge.
Yep.
So we've moved into that. He was more of a buyer's agent, prospector,
Yep.
but I think we're working more as a concierge sort of level now. We want to provide that high level of service.
Definitely.
Then I've got Alex, who he's pretty much a lead agent within my team.
Yep.
So he's out being a lead agent prospecting. And I've got Jared, who's a prospector, and then eventually in the next 6 to 12 months, as he grows his own wings, he'll then go and become a lead agent within my team, and then eventually a lead agent for himself, and then build his own EBU. So that's what we've got. And then we've got a new guy starting. I'm not going to mention too many names because he's kind of jumping over from another agency, but he'll probably be doing the same thing as Jared's doing. He's got a little bit more experience with 3 years behind him. So that's the team structure at the moment. Mm-hmm. And then obviously myself at the top, bringing in the listings, and then feeding the team by having them leverage those listings as much as they can.
So what do you do every day?
Every day, well, my assistant's here to keep me honest, but mate, I call every day. I'm averaging about 30 to 50 calls a day.
Nice.
Something that I'm gonna say, to be honest with you guys, I was averaging about 110 phone calls on average a day.
Yep.
But I lost my entire database about 4 months ago. So I didn't back it up. It wasn't on the cloud. It was an old system.
Oh,
I know, mate. You're going to preach to me about your CRM system now.
Oh my God.
But completely lost it, lost everything. And I could have flight or fight, right? And I decided not to fly, and I started to fight. And mate, I just great thing is being an attraction agent, being in the industry for a long time, being consistent has really kept me up to doing the numbers I was doing when I was doing 110 calls.
Yep.
So it's definitely been, everything was always quality, but there's just a bit more time in spending a bit more time with the team and having more sales meetings as well, which I wasn't doing much of when I was doing 110 calls plus then meetings. And I want to really reiterate the 110 calls and make it very clear to everyone that they are calls, they are not connects.
Yeah.
So, connects, I was probably hitting about 20%.
Yeah. So, who are you calling?
Only future sellers. So I'm calling current sellers. So I call current sellers every day or every second day, sometimes twice a day with information, and then future sellers. So anyone in that pipeline is, you need to be in my pipeline, you need to be a seller. Nice. So meaning that you have a property to sell, and that could be something within 3 months or 3 years.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so you run your business very similar to what I do as the lead agent.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously focus on where you need to be, keeping the sellers up to date, and
Yeah.
making sure the hottest listing opportunities, you're on top of them.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you siphon it all down from there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And that's how you train your team to run their lives as well?
Not really. I mean, for me, it's because obviously I've got into a routine for so many years, doing this 19 years, you sort of fall into a routine and you know what works best for you. Mm-hmm. I've got the team more focusing on the prospecting side of things. I mean, some of them are still running buyers as well. They need to build that confidence. I think you and I know, Josh, we've been in the industry a long time. The biggest thing with real estate is to be, one, likable, but two, have that confidence and product knowledge. Yeah. I think that's really, and that's why I need these guys to get an overview of the real estate world. Mm-hmm. So understand, one, how to, do understanding contracts, then understanding how buyers, and then knowing what to say to sellers and using the right dialogue and not what to say. If you're saying too much, sometimes you can overcook a deal. Yep. So I'm not getting them to do exactly what I'm doing, mm-hmm. because I think they need to get an overview of everything.
Absolutely. I agree. So, your main drive with them is mostly like cold prospecting?
Main driver would probably be cold prospecting, because they are doing the leverage. I mean, the benefits that they have working alongside me, when you've got 30, 40 listings on the go at one time, they've got the opportunity. I can't leverage every single property. Nice. It's hard for me to leverage even 2 properties, because yes. you're trying to, you're managing sellers, you're managing active buyers that are looking at buying that property, you're doing the negotiating. And then obviously you're managing a team as well. So when you've got 30, 40 listings, they have the benefit of leveraging off that and then talking about it, going in there as talking more as a third person. Yep. And saying, look, my director or my yep. lead agent yep. had just listed this property. Yep. We've had a great result. When can we come around and see you? Where a lot of other agents don't get that opportunity. As you and I know, when yep. you're in the deep end, yep. it's sink or swim. Yep. And you're in a situation where you're going, well, I don't have anything to leverage off. Mm-hmm. I'll go ask Bob over there if he will let me sort of leverage off one of his listings, and more than likely he's going to go, no, I've got yep. my team leveraging off that. Definitely. I don't want you to eat off my plate. So then you're really starting from scratch.
Yeah, it's powerful having a good, principal leader in the office that's also still on the tools, selling property. I feel, especially for the agents around you. Some people see that as a negative. They say like, I wouldn't go to an office where there's a selling principal, but I think it's a positive. I think because you're exactly where you need to be, bringing eyes to the brand, you're staying sharp. So if you do need to help them with a listing presentation, I'm sure that you're available. That seems the way to go for me.
Josh, I've worked in a number of agencies before starting my own agency, Torres Property. And what a lot of people don't experience is because they only go to one agency and then they go, let's see if the grass is greener on the other side. I have been at agencies where that you don't get to leverage. Yep. You've got a selling principal, and sometimes you don't have a selling principal and they're not bringing in the stock as what you've just said. Yep. But the ones that are bringing in the stock, they've got their own team and they're not sharing that outside of their team. Yep. Whereas myself, I've got, 34 staff at the moment, 17 sales agents, and then they've got their sort of, associates underneath them. But I'm feeding them as well. So even the ones that are top producing agents and the ones that are not top producing within my system, I'm still feeding them listings so they can leverage putting their name on something. It's not a guaranteed, they have to work for that listing to obviously guarantee themselves a commission check at the end of the day to secure the deal. But I think it is a benefit working with someone that can bring in that sort of amount of listing, because then you can understand someone that is running that many properties at the one time, how it's being managed and how it gets managed, because then it's just going to trickle down onto them and they're going to go, well, when I have my team, I'm going to know exactly how to manage 15 listings. I mean, you give it to someone, if someone takes 15 listings and they've been in the industry for a year and all they've done is probably list maybe 15 in 12 months, let alone 15 in 1 month, they're probably going to screw that up and, everything's just going to be, come tumbling down.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency. You turned up and you got the runs on the board and you've been doing it for a very long time. You're a great person to follow. It's always concerning to me when I see agents following or having a leader inside their office that hasn't done the work, hasn't got the runs on the board, like how are you actually supposed to learn?
Mate, that is a good question. I think there's Tom Panos training, you know,
Yeah.
there's podcasts.
Yeah.
But then what happens is people then start going out and they start following, you know, other people where they go, well, maybe I might just jump ship and go somewhere else and start working with another agent who is actually doing the work, because you become that attraction agent.
Yeah.
So how do you learn? You really don't, mate. And it's really sink or swim, as I've said before, you know, and they suck it and see. And there's more mistakes. And the good thing is people like us that have been in the industry, or anyone that's been in the business for probably 10 plus years, or even shorter amount of time, 7+ years, I think you can avoid, as an agent coming into the market, you can avoid those mistakes by having a director, a leader that says, look, don't do this, because I know that's where it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
Do this, and this is what it's going to get you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice, mate. Nice.
I'm preaching to the converted. I can see a big smile on your face, mate.
No, I love having you on here, brother. I love having you on here. It's good to always catch up.
Yeah.
Your business is probably one of the best businesses going around.
Oh, come on, man.
Very, very strong business.
I did tell you I was going to pay you that $1,000, but
Absolutely.
you don't need to mention
Appreciate
it on the podcast. Come on.
But no, like, you have a very successful business, but it probably hasn't always been that way. You know, you've obviously gone through some challenges along the way, and
Always.
I feel like, you know, years back, like, we had a very similar business, like, especially like because you were a good agent, I was a good agent, and then you've brought some people into your team, and it sort of felt like, from afar, it felt like a bit of a lads club. Like, it looked like the Torres boys, you know.
Yeah.
And I had the similar sort of thing happening with the Mr. Cell team, you know, like, and I was like, and then slowly there's transition, you know, like we've done this now with Freedom, and I can see this happening with your business, and you've got a lot of females around you now, and you know, how's that transition?
I think it's fantastic, mate. I think females, and I've said that, and I will say this openly, I think females are the best salespeople in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
In anything when it comes down to sales, because they understand the process. They understand people's emotions. And the best way to get money, as we all know in real estate, is through emotion. And women know that. They know they can tap into that, where males are more just trying to get a deal over the line. So they don't have that intuition. So how has it been the transition? It's been great. I mean, it's really just applying myself and getting myself out of the comfort zone, and really just going, okay, I really want to mold a female agent to being a successful $1 million fee writer. But that is definitely a goal of mine within Torres Property. I think that because there is not many that I can you can say within Brisbane, the Brisbane property market, and go, oh yeah, she's a $1 million fee writer, and she's a $1 million fee writer. Majority of this industry is very male oriented, male driven. Whereas I think that women definitely have that more astute and I think a better quality and understanding and listening to a client's needs and wants.
Well, they naturally care. You know,
correct.
They're the caring part of the business that us males, sometimes it takes us a while to get.
Yeah.
You know, Randall used to say to me all the time, he's like, when you really care. And I was like, no, I care, but I care. He's like, no. No, but you really care.
Yeah.
You know, because now I really care.
Yeah.
I really care about my people.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's I see great joy in just someone picking up a listing, you know, probably more than me getting a listing, to be honest. And you probably feel the same.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, obviously watching your business grow, it's been nice to see.
Yeah.
We're on a very similar path, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about challenges, and everyone sees the outside. You know, they see the car, they see the group, they see the group growing or the team growing within Torres. But what they don't see, and I think it's the effort and the time that is spent to build this business. Yeah. I've been extremely blessed, and I think it's become a lot with hard work and just being dedicated to my craft, being consistent, being motivated, self-motivated. I don't have coaches. I don't have a personal coach. I don't have a trainer. Like, it's just been myself for the last 6 years running this business. You know, I've got obviously my team, but someone outside of that can coach me. But you know, I've noticed that through that hard work, through that effort, to me, it's inevitable that you are going to make something happen. And yeah, I've had my challenges, but you know, working 8 days a week, and I say 8 days because it feels that way, not enough hours in a day to sort of get things back that you want, that you put in. But eventually you do see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I've been extremely blessed that we've gone from strength to strength every single year, you know, in sales, in the team, in the growth. And I just, I feel like there's definitely more out there, man. I just feel like I'm just getting warmed up.
Seriously. Yeah. It's so good. So good. I'm glad you say that, because I feel like I'm just getting started too.
Yeah.
I really feel like the little guy. I feel like we haven't even got started.
Yeah,
yet.
man. I love that.
Like let's go. Let's take this wherever we can.
Yeah. As you said, man, you were like, you were just saying before, you were like, we want to grow it to 100. I'm like, respect. You know, that to me, and everyone gets inspired by different things. You know, it might be items, it might be a car, it might be making more money or having more money in your bank account. What inspires me is people, man.
Yeah.
Like when I hear that, I'm like, because I'm super competitive. I was an athlete back at school, you know, and I know you played football, the real football, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. So, but you know, I'm extremely competitive, and when I hear that, I'm like, I love that because that's healthy competition for me. That drives me. I'm like, Josh is going to 100. I want to go to 100. I'm not saying I want to do better. You inspire me to get to that level as well. So, and I love that if Torres has done that for other people outside of that, you know, where there are a lot of independent or boutique brands that are opening up as well. You know, that's been going on for years. But I have really seen that take off more so when Torres, because I think it gave people some sort of inspiration. And I love that. I love inspiring people. It's great. And I love when people inspire me because that's what motivates me is people.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So, like, when you say you're working hard, how hard?
Oh, man.
Tell them. Be real with these guys, because I see, like, they say to me all the time, you know, but Joshy, you know, like I'm putting in the time, you know, I'm making the calls, and you're like, nah, brother, nah. Ramp it up.
I'll tell you how hard. This is the best thing, and this is one thing I'd say for your podcast and all your listeners, within freedom and outside of freedom. Get your phone, if it's an Android or a smartphone, you know, an Apple. Go to your screen time. Look at what is the most thing that you've seen on your screen time. So is it social media? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it Snapchat? Is that the number one thing? Or is it playing games? And then third on that list or fourth on that list is emails or maybe calls or text messaging. That shows you how hard you are actually working. So for me, I mean, if you have a look at how hard I'm working, I'm up generally around 5:30 a.m. I get up. Sometimes I go for runs, sometimes I don't, where I live. So, and then once I finish that, I'm in the office at about anywhere between 8:30 to 9. But then I will run a day up until probably 6:30, 7:30 at night.
Nice.
Non-stop. I mean, I don't even sometimes, and I know, please you don't have to do this at home, but I don't even take lunch breaks. Like I just don't have time. And as I said, my EA's here, Kaya, in this room at the moment, and I'm sure she'd be, shaking her head going, he should be eating lunch, but I just don't. And I don't get grumpy. I'm just on a different level where I just want more.
Yes.
Because it's not enough for what I have. And it's not being greedy. I just want to push myself to new limits because I feel like when I get to that, there's more things that I can see that are being accomplished when I push myself. But how hard? 8:30 to 7:30 if I was to throw in a 15-minute break, I don't sit with the lads and start having a conversation for an hour. I don't take lunch breaks. I don't go out on coffee breaks for 15 minutes. It just does not happen. I'm constantly prospecting, ringing, calling. Who can I speak to? Finding opportunities. And also talking to the team on how we can continue to keep improving. It doesn't happen all the time. I know some of the team would love to sit down every day, 15 minutes, but it doesn't happen all the time. But just doing that. So there is constantly things that I'm doing to keep getting better.
Beast. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we want, brother. That's what we want. It's inspiring. It is. Why do you want it so bad?
Because someone told me that, a long time ago that anything is possible, man. A long time ago, someone said to me, Will, someone's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. And I want it so bad because I had nothing a long time ago. I was in public housing for 17 years of my life. I slept on the floor with a mattress on the floor because I had no bed frame. My mum couldn't afford that. I didn't have the best clothes. My mum made the best that she could do, whatever money she could make. I mean, she was cleaning houses. That was her job. She went from, I mean, you go and have someone a janitor, like she wasn't a janitor. She was actually just going to people's homes and getting cash money just so she could put us through schooling. And then she would hustle her way through into schooling to try and say to the principals at private schools that we went to, you got to have my son because he's a great athlete and he'll win championships for you. He'll win awards for you. You will get recognized as a school.
Abilities,
man.
right?
So she was a hustler, you know? So I give every credit and everything to my mother for being that type of person. And that was obviously trickled down on me. But, coming from having nothing to having something in my life now, now I go, wow, I've achieved this. What more is there out there for me? So
she must be proud.
And that's why I want more, man.
Yeah.
Because and it's not just also for me. I want more for the people around me.
Definitely.
As you said before, the one thing that makes, and you said before, I'm proud when I see someone get a Form 6 over me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's a great feeling. And likewise, for me, what makes an agency is not the individual. Mm-hmm. It's the team. Yeah. It's the group. Yeah. That's what makes an agency. That's what makes a group successful.
Do you feel like you deserve what you've achieved?
I do. Yeah. 100%, man. Yeah. Like I deserve everything that I've put in, because if it wasn't for me doing the hard work and being thankful for the hours that I do, why wouldn't I be proud of that? Like I think people, we live in this society now that, oh, you have to, and it's great. You have to be humble. I understand that. And I don't walk around and say, look at the new toy that I bought today and put it out on social media. That does not happen. Yeah. I don't talk about any of that. But I definitely deserve the things that I have, because the hours that I put in, like the hard work, I'm literally on the clock. I'm sending emails sometimes on weekends, like on a Sunday, and I'm working on Sundays doing open homes. Yeah. And I think anyone who puts those amount of hours in, or anyone that just works hard for the day, they should deserve what they've got coming to them.
Love it, bro. Love it. You got good energy.
Brother, energy is your currency.
I can feel it.
Energy is your currency, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I can put it on. I reserve my energy. A lot of people actually say to me, they go, well, you got to be careful because you're going to get burnt out. And maybe one day, when I stop loving what I do, man, and you know what I've noticed, Josh, and everyone out there, this is not even a passion no more. Yeah. This is an obsession.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this. And there's a saying, I and this is no saying that I got from, Instagram or Google, but I say you don't have to be the best, but you have to be obsessed. Yeah. And then you will be the best.
Are you ready to supercharge your real estate game? If so, then you should join our agent growth training program and community. Here you will learn the tips, the tricks, the processes, the strategies to dominate your local marketplace. If you want to become the #1 agent in your area, Agent Growth is for you. If you'd like to join, follow the link below and you can sign up for free. I think if you're an agent out there right now watching this and someone is saying to you, you need to calm down, you need to slow down a little bit, like you're going to burn out, you are nearly there. You are on the right track, because I used to have people say it to me all the time. They're like, no, you need to chill out. Like, just relax. You need to have a few days off. You need to calm down. And I was just like, nah. Definitely not. No, we're going for this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it's such good energy to come in with. And I'm sure you're okay about not receiving something as well, and not missing things. Maybe not back in the day. Like I used to be very upset when I used to miss a listing. I used to be, oh my God. It's just so upsetting for me, but I've let that go now, and now I'm very, very happy with where I am, Yeah.
Are
you happy with where
you're in a journey, bro? I think, the pursuit of happiness is really something that's, will always be challenging for people, because are you really happy? Am I happy? Yes. But I want to continue that happiness. I don't want to slow down. The day I slow down is the day I'm going to change and do something else completely different. Yeah. There are things that go in my mind. Don't get me wrong. There are moments. I am human. I'm not alien. Yeah. Like to think I am, but I'm not. But there are days, man, that I think, man, I just want to have today off.
Yeah.
I don't want to come in. I'm tired. Yeah. But then, I'm ironing my shirt. I'm standing there and I'm like, I get paid to talk to people. I jump in my car, I go to a place and they go, can you show me this property? I take the keys, I open the door, I turn the lights on, I walk them around, I talk to them about the property, add value to the home.
Yep.
And then they go, Will, and I've had it many times, we want to put in an offer.
Yep.
Great. Get a piece of paper out, get the pen out. What's your name? Give me your driver's license. Don't even have to guess what their name is or try and spell their name out. They give me their driver's license. Yep. And then you're writing it out. And then you start the negotiation process. And then 24, 48 hours later, you've got a $37,000, $40,000 commission check coming in the mail.
It's crazy.
For doing that. And I think, wow, I get paid to talk to people.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, and there's a lot of facets to it. Negotiating, listing, selling, showing the home, managing, all of that. But all of that is words.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting down there and getting a table, an algebra table, sitting down and doing all these formulas to work out how this rocket ship's going to take off.
We're very lucky. We're not digging holes every day.
No, mate. Exactly.
We don't have to carry heaps of stock.
No.
We don't have pressure.
That's right.
This is one of the best industries ever.
Yeah, man.
I want to touch on maybe why you felt that day that you didn't want to go in that day. What is it that gets you down?
Man, pressure on myself.
Yep.
I build anxiety within myself. Like I'm performing, and if that performance does not does not come out to a result, I build a lot of anxiety it's all in my head. And they're the moments that I want to sort of just not do it. Like I just want to run away. But I know that if I do that, that anxiety is only going to be a snowball effect, and it will just continue to become worse in my mind.
Yep.
And I know that I need to fight and not flight.
Yep.
So they are the moments that I know that if I go in there and I get it happening and I take action, and as Tom Panos said to me a long time ago, your attitude is your altitude. And if I have shit attitude walking into a presentation or doing something, I know I'm not going to execute properly. Yep. But if I have great attitude, and even if I stuff up my dialogue or anything like that, but I have great energy and I've got a great attitude, I know I'm going to get it across the line. It's going to come across the line messy, but shit, I'm going to get it across the line.
Enthusiasm always wins.
100%, man. And I remember coming into this business when I was in my early 20s. You know, my boss would say to me, you know what you have over all these other people? And he pointed out there was like 5 other guys in that room. He's like, you've got enthusiasm. And that's what's going to win you business. That's what's going to get you across the line. You may not do it in the best style, but you will get it over the line.
That's it. Yeah. And, you don't have to be a Will Torres, right now, agents, when you're watching this, if you don't have the runs on the board, but you go in with that, I'm going to work so hard for you. I really want this. Like, I want this bad, this is going to be so important to me, this listing, like the things that I want to do for your buyer, for you, the things I want to achieve for you. Like, if they feel that and they believe that, the seller's like, you're going to get that listing.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
I think, as I said, if you ooze that energy, they can see how much you want the property. Like my dialogue changes. I change my dialogue. I try and change it frequently. Now, when I say frequently, it's not weekly. It's probably every few months, where I'm going into presentations, but I'm going in harder because you get complacent. You've been doing this 19 years, Will, and you get to a point where you're just like, sometimes you expect things to land on your lap, and you got to keep in mind there are other people that are hungrier than you. They're far more enthusiastic than you, and you're going, how did I lose that listing to that guy? And he's got like one listing on the board.
Seriously.
And it's not their fault. It's my problem. I got to check myself, look at the man in the mirror and go, what do I need to change to be better? And man, and as I said to you before, man, I listed 31 properties in 31 days in July. But I checked myself months before that. And I'm like, why am I losing listings? Why am I going into an area that I know that I have dominance, that people know me? Am I going in arrogantly? Am I going in expecting? And not fighting for it as hard as I used to fight for it.
Sure.
So now I'm like, I'm going in hard and I'm fighting, and I'm back to that Will Torres that was there 10 years ago, 15 years ago, bringing that enthusiasm, but bringing back that attitude of knowing that, hey, I care as Randall said, no. Do you really care?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I care.
Yeah.
I want this.
So good. So good. So when I look at your business, like I wouldn't say that you personally are that big on social media. Like your brand is, but like you're not really.
No.
Like, so where do you get your business from?
Man, look, I think it's been years of being out in the public, people knowing your name. Obviously, you do what everyone does. Your DL flyers, you've got your door knockers, you've got your cold callers in the area. You're calling people. You do a great job from them, and they then go and pass that good word or good news or about you as a person and how great you're doing or how good you've done for them as a sales. So a lot of my business comes word of mouth, and that is the best way to market yourself. It is the hardest way, Josh, because I used to work for this agent, and he said to me, there are two ways of being successful. Like, if you want to make it in this business, you've got the long way where you have to prove yourself and make a lot of calls, and maybe a year or 2 years time, you're going to be in a position where things are going to start landing on your lap. Or give me $50,000 and I will advertise on social media, do print media, get you everywhere, because perception becomes greater than reality.
Absolutely.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
And then people's perception is, oh, wow, they've got a degree in marketing. Oh, wow, they've got all of these listings because they're going in there with a $50,000 budget where they can go, Josh, I'll advertise your property in our social media page and I'll run it for 3 weeks to expose it to 40,000 people. Or we'll go print media in the local paper, which doesn't happen now, but back then it did, and we'll advertise and I'll pay for that. So there were people, there was no VPA. It was more the agent paying for their client to win their business. And I was like, well, shit, I don't have the money to do that. And I was literally, at that time when I was working for him, I was on commission only as a co-agent. And the money that I had saved, I was too afraid to lose. I didn't want to gamble that and take a punt. So I was like, I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to get on the phones and I'm going to ring. And I remember working at these agencies, mate. I would be the last one. And I wasn't the director of that business. I was just a salesperson. But I wanted to be number one. I wanted to be the best. And I was like, okay, I have to just be obsessed with this and go for it. And I'd stay back 7, 8 o'clock at night and I'd just make phone calls.
Absolutely.
So, and that's I'm not trying to derail from your question in regards to my personal, Instagram or social media life, but really for me, it's just come from the longevity of being in a market that people know who I am.
Yeah, definitely. If you could go back, would you do your business any differently? Is there anything you would do?
I would have done things sooner rather than later. I really would. Things like opening up my agency, I would have done it sooner. I would have gone commission only sooner. I would have built more confidence within myself sooner. But I didn't believe in myself, Josh. And I think that everything happens for a reason. If I didn't go down that journey or that path, maybe I wouldn't be in real estate today.
Yeah.
Maybe if I pulled the trigger too early, if I felt like I was only going to be a co-agent. I was a co-agent for a long time on a salary for a long time. And that's probably one thing that I regret, that I didn't get myself out of the comfort zone that I was in, where I was in for such a long time, because I had a guaranteed salary. And I don't care how big or small it was with bonuses on top, but I was always like, one thing I would change is I would put myself out of my comfort zone sooner than later. And that's probably the only thing that I'd if I had to pick something out of my journey up until this day, it would be that.
Nice. So let's finish it off. What's a good real estate agent look like to you?
A good real estate agent look like to me.
What's an amazing real estate agent look like to you?
Mate, someone that has great character, amazing energy. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. They're consistent. They've got discipline. They have amazing attitude. Their mindset is 90% positive. You're going to have your off days. Nothing's ever 100%. You have all of those ingredients and you put them in the oven and you bake it for the next hour and a half, 40, you come out, guaranteed you are just going to kill it in this game.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Mr. Will Torres, thank you.
Thanks, brother.
You're a legend. Thank you.
My pleasure, bro.
Today.
Thanks for having me, man. Hopefully this content will help someone out there.
It will.
Everyone, to finish off, and you asked me what makes an amazing real estate agent. Everyone talks about, I've got to make the calls, I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. Just give it a fucking go. Like,
Seriously.
you have to give it a go. You have to just turn up, turn on, and go hard. Because if you do that with all of those ingredients that I've just said, to me, it's inevitable that you have to make it in this business, but you have to be, that's the thing, discipline, consistency, those are so important, and attitude. Those three things you can't teach in real estate. Seriously. I know I teach my team, you teach your team, they come up to you and they say, Josh, hey, I've got this deal. How do I do this deal? What do you think I should say? Oh, well, say this and this and this, and then say this and this and this. Great. Okay, I'll do that. How's your delivery? How is that coming across?
Yeah.
Josh can articulate it well. Can that person articulate? You learn, but the more you do it, you might get it wrong first 10 times. Yeah. But guess what? The next 10 times, you're going to be better at it. And then your 100th time, you're going to be a master at it. But you need to have all those other facets to make that work.
Love it, bro. Turn up, turn on, and get motivated. Ladies and gentlemen, from Will Torres, the man himself. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's only been 6 months.